Hey, good evening, everybody. I think we got audio. Let me know. You'll let me know if we don't. We're a little bit late tonight. I've been looking at some of the radar imagery. There's no severe weather out there, and I don't really think there's any concern. We never really had any concern for severe weather tonight. We do have some heavy rain. Now, normally I would say it's beneficial. I guess it's always a little bit beneficial, but we had so much rain last Saturday. A lot of you still dealing with some of the flooding and the aftermath, especially in the Shoal Creek area over there in the Lauderdale County. And they continue to let the water out of the spillway there at Wilson Dam. Gonna let a few more of you get on here, and then we're going to take a look at these thunderstorms out there. Again, there's nothing severe. Go ahead and put that on there. We're tracking some heavy rainfall, occasional thunderstorm activity there in and around Russellville. It's all tracking east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour or so, and it will continue to move off to the north and east. And this front's coming in. We're going to talk about, there's two sides to this story tonight. One of them is the very heavy rain that's coming in now, and the other one is the colder air that's going to be coming in behind all of this. Looks like we got a severe thunderstorm warning there west of Nashville right now. But again, all this stuff, you can find it on our 48 First Alert Weather app. We'll be talking about it tonight at 10 as well. Just some locally heavy rain moving to the east. Could see some pea-sized hail. We haven't really had any big reports of that. I think earlier up in Lawrence County, Tennessee, had a stronger thunderstorm there capable of some pea-sized hail, but that's not really all that big. Just kind of gets your attention. The other side of this storm is cold, and we've got some really cold air, strong gusty winds. In fact, they had blizzard conditions today in Omaha, Nebraska. Not a real heavy snow producer, but I mean, they've had quite a bit of snow. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video. This is going to be out of that area there. As we take a look, I'm going to show you that Omaha area again, Mutual of Omaha, big hospital up there. They were in the 70s yesterday, and they had a blizzard today. So you think our weather's crazy. Those people are like, you know, everywhere I go, you're going to hear, just give it a few hours and it'll change if you don't like the weather. And it's really true, especially when we have the change in seasons. But again, Omaha, Nebraska, kind of driving conditions around there. That was this evening. So the roads, looks like for the most part, were a little slushy there, and that's probably due to the fact that they were in the 70s yesterday. But a real cold night coming overnight tonight, and what a surprise for them when they wake up the first day of spring. Yep, Town Creek getting rough. Yeah, heavy rain and some gusty winds over there in Town Creek. So as we go back, kind of look here at what we're looking at. We continue to watch this snow wrap around. Now, around here, it's just going to be too warm. We're a couple of degrees off unless we get some evaporative cooling tomorrow to see some snowflakes. I just don't see it happening. Here's our storm timeline tonight between now and roughly 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, some of these areas, especially right along I-65. 10 p.m. to midnight, farther to the east for the chance for some of these stronger thunderstorms. Again, it's going to be, the winds are going to gust probably maybe 40, 45 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms, but we just don't really see a big severe weather threat with this. I don't think it's anything to worry about tonight. But take a look to the north. They've dropped the blizzard warning, but that's where they had the blizzard warning today. And then in red now, Louisville, that's where they had they have a tornado watch in effect now, but that's really been trimmed back. It has not been a super active day as far as severe weather is concerned, but we're still dealing with some of the aspects of this March storm system. Now, had we had a couple days or more to get that instability back here, it would have been a different story because our pressure's low enough. There's a little bit of wind shear out there, but there's just no instability. And the way this is coming in, we're just not concerned about severe weather. But this may wake you up kind of weather, especially as it gets stronger. I think these storms will actually intensify just a little bit more as they move to the east, as the front kind of catches up with everything. But once again, not much to worry about there. Here's your 3-day forecast. Tomorrow getting a lot colder. We're talking heavy drizzle. We had this a couple of weeks ago where I thought we'd have a little drizzle, but man, the drizzle just picked up to where you couldn't really do much of anything outside. That high of 44 will be in the late afternoon hours just before the sun sets. And then we've got a morning freeze coming up. A hard freeze at that too. We're talking about temperatures below freezing for about 4 straight hours. It's not going to be our last freeze for most of us. And it's one of those you really want to wait until April 15th. That always seems to be the date. And some years we get a frost after that too. But then we're right back to 71 Saturday. We're going to take a break here, and about a minute break. We got a slate coming up, and then we will talk more about this freeze, what to prepare for, your weekend, and that 10-day forecast. Right now, I'll tell you, the 10-day forecast looks pretty quiet for a March 10-day forecast. In fact, all the way through the end of March, right now, doesn't look like we have to deal with any significant threat of severe weather. We'll be right back. Hey, you guys aren't supposed to be dropping off like flies. We've lost like 30 people since I went to the slate. We're still here. Oh, stop the break. Break's over.
Break's over.
All right. Back to the circle box. All right. Thanks for sticking with us. Again, hopefully someday we'll actually have a commercial video that runs there. Because a minute's a long time to wait, isn't it? You guys can comment on that too. Somebody said happy birthday. My son's birthday's tomorrow. My other son, my oldest son's birthday was yesterday. And Drake turns 21 tomorrow. And we're going to go out and eat steak. So I'm looking forward to that. New steakhouse over there at Cliff Farms. Cliff Farm, that is. A lot of people add the S like Walmart's. All right, let's take a look at your 3-day forecast here. Again, this is what we left with, but I want to kind of preface what we're about to talk about here. 44 tomorrow, but it's going to feel like the 30s all day. 63 Friday. That looks awesome, but we're still going to be in the 50s at the lunch hour Friday. But hey, it's Friday, and after a deep freeze, it's going to be nice. And 44 for the low Saturday, so we're going right back up, 71 Saturday afternoon. As far as the wind goes, it's going to be a factor, and for some of you, it may be a bigger factor tomorrow because of how it makes you feel miserable, right? And there's still pollen in the air too. So 16 mile per hour sustained winds. They're going to be out of the west-northwest. Some of you are going to try to go out and do some fishing maybe. But again, west-northwest, winds gusting 20 to 25. But then that'll relax as we get down the road. Now over the next 12 hours, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s tonight. The high temperature for tomorrow will happen just after midnight tonight in all areas because that front's coming through. And then we're going to see the temperatures just drop and continue to drop throughout the day. So here's a look at what we've got going on, or what we had going on at 7:45, kind of going back in time here. Model guidance is doing pretty good. These thunderstorms we have on radar right now, some are intense, heavy rain, gusty winds, small hail. They will continue to move to the east overnight tonight. It should cross I-65 somewhere between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And notice the trend here by 11:30 or so is for some of this to fade away as it moves into the northeast corner of the state as we continue to lose people. They're getting ready. They're getting ready for the 10 o'clock news. So here's what's coming. We have a clear slot coming through. It's going to dry out, and then the bottom just drops out on temperatures. The clouds roll back in tomorrow morning. The wind picks up out of the west-northwest, and then we just get this stubborn, persistent drizzle that could be heavy at times. I think we're going to have poor visibility in the mountainous areas, and we're going to probably have some kind of fog that kind of sits out. The clouds are actually going to be on top of the mountainous areas, and then occasionally some light rain showers. And as I mentioned before the break, we're just kind of on the edge of seeing snow, but it's just too warm to snow. It's going to snow, but then it's going to melt before you even get a chance to see it. So it'll be snowing above us, and then it's going to melt as it falls. By 6 o'clock, so just before sunset, we reach 50 in the shoals, and we see sunshine and promise for a nice weekend. But it is going to get cold. Overnight lows, again, we drop below freezing at probably around 3 o'clock in the morning and stay there through 7. Now, some of those sheltered valleys may see 6 hours below freezing. This is just before sunrise Friday, a calm wind, perfect ingredients for frost, and of course colder air, and then we start to recover. Now, I want to show you another video here, and this is going to be from Faith Delp, and this is on, preparing your plants. She was out at Bennett Nurseries earlier today, and this is what they pretty much had to say. Well, let's see, I got to double click on that. All right, so again, here's Faith Delp. I don't hear any audio.
Plant early this year because of the nice weather we've had. The freezing temperatures tonight can damage those new plants. Owner Jeff Bennett says the temperatures tonight can damage those newly planted fragile blooms and new foliage. Bennett Nurseries specializes in trees, plants, and flowers. He says with the freeze watch, most plants that have been in ground for the duration of winter will have to tough it out tonight. But those who just recently planted or taken houseplants outside should take action because this weather change can be harmful to all plants, including flowers and fruit trees.
If anybody has taken some of their houseplants or tropicals outside to get sunshine, they definitely need to be brought in for the evening.
Bennett also says to wait just a few more days for the weather to warm up before planting. Reporting in Huntsville, Faith Delp 48 News on your side.
All right, again, tonight we're not going to get as cold, but your plants are still not going to like it out there. But overall, again, Faith putting that report in earlier today. Appreciate her going out to Bennett Nurseries. I always enjoy going out to Bennett Nurseries, but after the last threat of frost, we still have a threat of frost at least the next 2, maybe 3 weeks. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about that. Again, as we look forward to Friday, looking good out there, some sunshine. Clouds moving in late Friday, but then we have nice weather coming for the rest of the weekend. So here's your 10-day forecast. Huntsville Havoc back in town. I'm looking forward to some hockey Friday and Saturday in Huntsville, and the temperatures are going to be really nice too. So 75 Sunday. Notice the morning low Sunday. That's kind of a precursor of why we probably will not see severe weather with the thunderstorms Sunday evening, because there's just no humidity in the air. It's really dry. So that's really good news. In fact, the 10-day forecast, right now, I don't see any threat of severe weather over the next 10 days. So that's good. A lot of you are asking if you can go to bed tonight. Yeah, I mean, there's no threat of severe weather. I mean, and there's nothing out there that's going to come in and destroy your house or anything. So yeah, I realize you guys are anxious and stuff like that, but it's just a normal thunderstorms coming through. They get strong occasionally this time of year. There's really not much to be concerned about. Well, I got to get ready for the 10 o'clock news. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, I'll see you again tomorrow night at 9:30 if you dare.